Yeah. The American people don't know what's going on in this country. The enemy's public. The country is going to hell. The enemy's public. It ain't black people sending it there. There is no mystery God. Absolutely no mystery God.
You are the future, and we are depending on you to unite to overcome your differences and organize a system under the set of principles that the original people of this planet follow.
The enemy's public.
I don't know how I got here. I just know I'm never going back. Just when I thought things were already crazy, it gets worse.
I'm back.
Quan?
Sapphire struggles to deal with her husband's alleged betrayal and coming to terms with Quan being alive after thinking he was deceased. Devante tries to keep a level head while dealing with family issues and unexpected disloyalty. Memories of Dre enters Devante's life in a way that he would have never imagined.
Fire Part 2, the finale.
Get your copy of Fire. It's definitely a must-read. If you enjoy hood books, this one is it. Just like the title of the book, it's officially Fire. Get it on Amazon, paperback or Kindle.
Peace. This is the enemy's public. I am Bro.Nasir. Hope everyone's enjoying their Friday. You know, I'm enjoying mine so far. And I just want to touch on real quickly the lawlessness and the disorder, the new world odor, because something don't smell right about what's going on in DC, what took place in DC with the shootings. You know, some things are just obvious to me of when someone's trying to pull a fast one, like a false flag or some type of psychological operation on the people. Especially, it's so convenient that Trump wants to deploy troops to DC. The people don't want them there. They got an injunction and they got a ruling that will take the troops out of there in a few weeks. And it's so convenient that a shooting happened where two National Guards men and women were shot. And they said one of them passed away yesterday by someone from, I believe, I don't know if Afghanistan somewhere, you know, Afghanistan, you know, it's like, and I knew once I heard it, what would happen. And it's crazy how you can predict what someone's going to do when something happened. The first thing I said that he would blame Biden, and he did, and he would ask for more troops, and he did. Those are the two things that I said that he would do, that in no limited time. he did as a result of this alleged shooting. See, me, I don't trust. I don't believe anything that the government say. Now, as much hell as the United States raise all over the world, people say it's the government that does it. They don't put it on the faith of the people who are committing it, because if we were to determine who commit the most violence all over the world, if we were to mention their faiths, Islam would not be in the top two. The top two would be in Israel and the United States. I don't know which order, but both nations are very violent. Not necessarily the people of those nations, but the government of those nations raise hell all over the world. I want to say peace to my brother, old dude. Peace to my sister, none of your business. Thanks for tapping in this afternoon. Peace to everybody who's listening. Greetings, much love to the wife. I know she's listening somewhere. But I just don't take what the United States government say and just run with it. Some of us believe whatever we hear, all it takes for someone to be sitting at a desk with a mic in their hand, and we take what they say as truth, when for the most part, they're always lying. And I don't put it past the government actually using someone as a patsy, as a fall guy. And to Donald Trump, he would use the soldiers, the National Guard, at his expense, because he don't even respect them. That's why I can't understand why they would move for him. I don't understand that. If they would move for him, how disrespectful he is to the military, that means they have self-hate towards themselves. And I've always felt uneasy about seeing a person walking off Air Force One who don't even have home training, not alone military training. Donald Trump don't even have home training. He don't even have decorum. He don't have proper etiquettes or any of that. And if you look at him, you can see that he's not disciplined. And disciplined men and women have to salute him, someone who never came up through the rank and file. They have to salute him when he walk off Air Force One. I will not feel okay about that. This undisciplined person, I have to salute him, and he's the commander-in-chief. The commander-in-chief who never came up through the rank and file. Yet he used them as his own personal goons against the people of the United States, against the people. National Guards should not be in cities functioning as police. First, they don't have that training. And if I didn't sign up for that, I wouldn't be okay with doing it as a National Guardsman. Yet they're sent all over the United States doing Donald Trump's bidding. My brother Hurricane JW, salute family. Now, if there was a soldiers that shot in DC, salute God. My brother Keith Lamont, salute. If there were National Guardsmen shot in Washington, D.C., they say one was was killed. That's Donald Trump's fault. They should have never been there. But with me, with my skepticism, I don't even believe it. A camera so conveniently caught the whole thing. And then when they were talking to people who say they witnessed it, I'm listening to CNN. And they had the voice of Patrick. Patrick didn't even have a last name. It just had the voice of Patrick who was telling what he's seen. Just Patrick. And a camera just so conveniently caught it. Some of us don't understand. Not anybody in this audience. But some of us don't understand the theater of what's going on. It's all theatrics. Because when Donald Trump is sitting, somebody else is sitting, it's always, a teleprompter. And when the young lady they said died, Donald Trump, he announced her death, and he behaved like he knew her personally. He said she was great in many, many ways. I mean, the guy's vocabularies of a third grader anyway. But he said she was great, prompted her up as some great person. Not saying that she wasn't. If that even happened, I just don't believe it happened. To me, it's a theater. When I'm watching them, it's lights, camera, action. When I'm watching the government. And they want us to believe that someone from, I believe they said Afghanistan, who they say just got asylum this year. Trump, his administration gave the guy asylum, but he's blaming Joe Biden, who hasn't been in office since January. Now he wants to circle around, back around to Muslims, circle back around to Muslims to justify whatever he's doing. That's why I tell our people, we can't trust this demon. Any of us do, that's going to be your fault for trusting someone who have proved themselves to be untrustworthy. I don't care what he say. Don't be mystified and tricked. He's not even good at trying to trick somebody with his language. He's not even good at it. But some of us seem to think that this man has something for us. Salute, my brother, Jeremy Roster. Salute. Let me mod you up. I don't understand why you're not modded, brother. The masses, they're not becoming the asses. They are the asses. They don't move unless they're led. That's the asses. The asses don't move unless they are led. And they still think that they can lead the people in the wrong direction by what they say, by what they propagandize. We need to know that there is no such thing as a good or benevolent politician. No such thing. I've been around almost 60 years. I have yet to see one. A good politician or a benevolent politician that care anything about anybody except constituency. And some of us are so cheap. Anything stimulates us. Something cheap stimulates us. Stimulates our mind, stimulates our thinking, stimulates our energy. Anything. If you will let $1,200, $2,000, a few measly $1,000 that they're calling a stimulus check, blind you to the fact that these people are wicked, I have a corner to put you on because you are a cheap whore, male or female. That's what you are if you let that supersede your virtue. Selling our virtue and a whole nation of people. I heard people on these platforms get up on platforms and talk about why they rock with Trump is because he's giving stimulus checks. And these are men that I'm hearing saying that. But you can't tell them, these men who are saying that they're whores, because they don't think they're whores for accepting another man's proposition, easily propositioned, easily swayed. You know, some of these sheep, some of the herd among us, you don't even need a cattle prod today. You know how you tie up a dog and the dog know the length of that chain, and to keep from being yanked, he knows not to go beyond the length of that chain or leash. If you take that leash off the dog, it's going to slow down. Even without the leash on, it's going to slow down when they get to that point. It's going to slow down. One thing I can't stand, brother, sisters, is a sellout Negro. They serve to our very detriment. And the reason why they do it is because there's no consequence for it. And they think they have somebody they can run to in the event that we come after them for selling our people out. We have to stop caring about that. Because when we're talking about the livelihood of our people, when we're talking about the very virtue of our people, the survival of our people, the salvation of our people, first, it's not up to nobody else because our problems are ours alone, and it's up to us to solve them. We are a people yearly, $1.9 trillion go through our hands. That means that our people have more money that goes through our hand through many nations on earth. Just us. We don't understand the power that we have. It's like, I'm going to use a word that people use in other instances and use it. I'm going to use the word oxymoron. I'm going to use that word, oxymoron. Strong as hell physically, but we're morons by the way we handle each other and our business. Oxymoron. We can't let people fool us, and we got to stop being the suckers when it comes to the political process. We are trying to go and join parties that we are not invited to, Democratic or Republican. We're not invited to those parties. And if we are, they're going to treat us like Carrie, pour the pig blood all over us. We have to stop that. And we have to have them fighting for what can we do to get the so-called black votes. Us as a people, we should be our own lobby, like everybody else. We should be our own lobby. And any Negro tell you should get involved in a political party, don't have your best interests at heart. It's Republicrats. They're on the same bird. Impossible to fly in a different direction when you're on the same damn bird. Now, I'm going to play a few music selections and we're going to get into the video that I have about the so-called shooting that happened in DC. Let me share my screen. Of course, it's going to be music from our people. A part of is a unclean and hateful bird. Let me see.
Class in session. So it's time for you to get the notes. The quickest way to sell your soul is when you niggas vote. This shit I'm kicking is forbidden, better listen, bro. A politician preaching love is the biggest joke. See what they do is use the shit as a tool. Got us focused on these fools and putting shit in our food. Fighting to free your mind is kinda hollow but true. The system make you a zombie if you follow the rules, so we rebel. But not too many live it to tell, till they find the cheat code using digital scales. Paradise is aborted when the mission is failed. Heaven and hell collide like prison and jail. And you don't need religion just to say you awake. You even dumber than you look, you think you came from an ape. Religion needs science, science need religion. One tell a story and the other paint the picture. But listen, nigga, if you dig a little deeper, you can find that little rabbit in the mother of the reaper. I'm the best for a reason. There's a message in the speaker when the cosmos talking. That's a blessing from the ether. One day I met the devil for real and made a deal with him. Told him all I want is the money and kept it real with him. Came in the form of a thought, I couldn't build with him. Shit I was selling the fiends was really killing them. Your gun bars ain't much if your gat don't shoot. I'm strapped and bulletproof like the Batman suit. All it takes is one snap to have my enemies killed. The laws in space and time, I could bend them at will. Yeah, I'm in the world that some of y'all have not seen, and living on the page that some of y'all cannot read. And right now they probably calling me cheap, cause I decided it's enough and now I finally speak. Tell you the truth, I don't trust people who cheat. It's deeper than having sex, you give birth to deceit. If you see where this is going, this is true as can be. If you lie to the ones you love, then you do it to me. The cold word is rainy night. Niggas get wet outside, but ain't no rain in sight. They wonder where this come from. Ascension when it's all done. No reason to believe in the God when you become one. You understand, you could get it the same. Niggas that double cross you if you get them the fame. My soul ain't for sale just to get in the game. It's dangerous, homie, just remember the name.
It was Hood Politics Part 1. My brother Dangerous. We're going to have Laugh Now, Cry Later by Chris Cypher's Dangerous and Drake.
This that Nickelodeon, Mary Jane and opium, fresh from the FedEx. Yes, we got a load of them. Yeah, tear this shit down like depression. The moral of the story is you get the lesson. I'm colder than the weather in Nova Scotia. The flow is colder. Turn down, you just like the lame dude. Get the shoulder, have these niggas swinging that Chris Rock when I pitch a boulder. My intentions was ill will. You cry. When I rap, get a pill feel. I can meditate and stay connected to the earth like a mill drill. They taught you to lie to your kids with Santa. I verse in the AI now, we got the answer. Don't kill yourself trying to be me with the Tanner. My equal love getting blown like a blammer. I'm biased to the low comprehension, cause people claim both to get a mention. You cry. And we don't wanna hear that. Keep that over there. Gotta do better. That's if you knew better. But I don't want to bore y'all with the talk. Back to regular schedule showgramming, executive sessions. Welcome to the upper echelon of Megatrons. And it's dangerous.
Laugh now, cry later. Can that fly shit you talk manifest when you falling from a skyscraper? A headshot could be a mind changer. I'm just a nigga that could hustle the hustle, getting my side paper. You know it's over when the non-sprayer. Oh, we robbing everything that you got. We operate as personality, just like your chain. It got faker, but the bullets like the ice in your drink. They shot chasers, too much talking. You throwing in places these cops take us. Prison is a mental design for time chambers. Procrastination is a disease for time takers. When it's war, they can never be law for line makers. Suck your head, be stupid and cross and die. Player got the full fifth, waving you down like hi hater. When your soul leave earth, you can let the sky take it, cause you thought shit was sweet. Laugh now, cry later.
Man, y'all know what it is, man. It's getting scary for you niggas out here, man. know y'all feeling the pressure. This network shit, this shit real, man. Ain't nothing but real shit over here, nigga. Chris Cyphers just gave y'all a dome shot. Dangerous just put you niggas in a body bag. And now I'm about to bury you niggas, man. Yo, I'm back riding again. Dangerous and Cyphers, we gon' have to body him then. Yeah, these niggas done. We gon' have your whole crew on the run. This ain't a game. You niggas lame. Come and catch this flame. We ain't built the same. You niggas just like the cap of fame. The 40 will make your soul glow. Silencer on the end of the barrel where the smoke blow. I need a heat check. Lilith from the logo. Smoke inside. You can smell my mojo. Fucking with Drake Cobbs, that's a no-no. This that big three. Boss Brown and D-Wade. Looking to let the heat spray. We pull up to your block like it's D-Day. We ain't playing, nigga, this ain't EA. We like wolves when the niggas see prey and move like Neo when the niggas see strays. I type and kill the competition. Tuck the deuces, nigga, on the replay. Big cheater, pass. I chuck the deuces on the replay. But y'all know what it is, man. Chris Cyphers, Dangerous, Drake Cobbs, man. They just network shit. Ain't nothing but real shit over here, man. Nothing but real. You already know. Y'all knowing how we get down, Joe. Network, nigga. Network forever, nigga.
Shout out to the network. We're gonna have Mayday next. And this is a premiere.
First of all, we must internalize the flatulation of the matter by transmitting the effervescence of the Indonesian proximity in order to further segregate the crux of my venereal infection. If I may retain my liquids here for one moment, I'd like to continue my intestinal tract.
Yo, check the mic 1, 2. This ain't no game. This ain't no zoo. Just truth in the booth. Coming at you. Clear the air. Got something to do. Hold up, huh? Yeah. Everything you say sound dumb. No substance, just crumbs. Whole track full of cap. That's a mumble with a drum. Yeah, a mumble with a drum. You ain't talking about nothing, dude. You bluffing for the buzz. Every bar feel hollow like you rapping just because. Yeah, just because. I'm allergic to that nonsense. Bless me. I choke. Y'all had no message in your message. Just an echo in the booth, huh? What you say? A whole lot of noise, but no wordplay. Who you fooling? You sound like a lecture with the class all snoozing. Brag about your life, but it's fiction in disguise. Every line you just frontin' a sorry verse, just full of lies. Yeah, a sorry verse, just full of lies. The king of confusion, contradiction on repeat. Try to be deep, but your lyrics barely weight above your feet. Said you all about the struggle while you lounging in the burbs, acting down in front of cameras while your people's to the curb. Bars weak when you speak, got no message underneath. The second grade emotional tirade, a corny mumble mouth geek. Mayday, and I still don't play. What a pitiful display. What you say? A whole lot of noise, but no wordplay. Who you fooling? You sound like a lecture with the class all snoozing. Brag about your life, but it's fiction in disguise. Every line you just frontin' a sorry verse, just full of lies. Yeah, a sorry verse, just full of lies.
Because a mind is a terrible thing to develop without help.
Allow me to expose my colon once again.
Next, we got my brother Greedy. Get a love story, and then we're going to get into the subject matter.
through in the coupe with the queen, and we both Drake. Yeah, we done made truth of a dream, unusual thing. We have our connection is strong, flaws are together. Can't a hater tell us we wrong? Jealous get on, flee from the wifey and me. We about to shit on the world and live trife as can be. We gon' shine, baby mama earth for my roots. Looking gorgeous as ever, been in love since our youth. Each other's boo. Love it when you let me have my way with it, throwing it back. We all night and all day with it, damn they overlay in it. Natural chemistry, our mixture is perfect, like Coca-Cola hit with Hennessy. My pain's best remedy, lovable best friend to me. Just us and the most high, we something like the Trinity. You give me strength to forward on in this crazy world. Just the thought I'm holding on with my baby girl. Presence is comfortable. I sit back and smoke a blunt or two, gaze in your eyes, tell you how much I'm in love with you. Love bug, my bugaboo, there'll never be another you. The unity between us is solid and indestructible. Bond is unbreakable. Sex and is sensational. The vision of your birth and my youngest is inspirational. Someone to cater to, love and fear the creator who shined on you. Ain't got this jealous bitches hating you. Want to trade a place with you, geeking to have what you got. Angry that you really in love, and they ass is not. Continuity, humbleness over scrutiny. The best part about us is feelings we share mutually. Forever true to me, prettier than your beauty be. Without you by my side, there's no more this earth can do with me. Your silent loving ways drive a thug wild. Now come and give me some, let's make another love child. Down to her poo-poo, penetrate that passionate fruit and go cuckoo. Know how to do you, always coming when I pursue you. The love guru, when we at it, it's so crucial. Overly choose you, over the world, fuck them all. Shorty ain't a reason to mingle, when I know your love got me. It's incredible, mama told me say never, but I'm telling you, I'll never have you outside of my schedule. I want the best for you, so make fish with steamed vegetables. Beach house chilling with your king, laid up next to you. You get your blessings too, you deserve it. You've been forever true, exceptional kind of woman. Yeah, I confess to you, we so connectable. Being apart is unacceptable. Most respect for you, only woman I show affection to. Know I recognize your love for me. I dedicated this song, our ghetto love story. Acknowledging your love for me. We got time, another ghetto love story.
Now we're going to get into the subject matter. Of course, you know, if you're not under a rock, something happened in DC the other day that, you know, I'm kind of skeptical about even happened, but we're going to get into it. Let's see if my brothers and sisters see the same thing that I see, especially based on credibility. Nah.
Shot, including a National Guardsman just a few blocks from the White House. D.C. Metro Police said that they are on the scene. They're asking folks in the area to avoid going there. We're now joined by CNN senior law enforcement analyst Andrew McCabe, a former FBI deputy director. Andy, we are just learning from our producer that the scene has been secured. This is 17th and I, 1 block from the White House. There is a suspect currently in custody. Obviously, we have very limited details, just that several people were hurt. At least one member of the U.S. National Guard has been shot. Can you give us a sense of how an investigation like this begins, essentially? We have a suspect in custody, but now is when some of the real work begins.
Yeah, absolutely. So especially if we go back maybe half an hour or so before we learn this, just knowing there's been a shooting in that area, as Chief pointed out, you've got so many different agencies that are overlapping each other in this space. DC Metro PD clearly in the lead here. This is their turf, but you're in between the White House, where you have Secret Service, you've got Park Police. They have locations that they're responsible for all over the city. You've got the other federal agencies like the FBI. So there's a
basically what they're saying is they turned little ass Washington D.C. into a police state, as if it's not already a whole lot of police there already. FBI is there, CIA is there, Washington Metro is there, the National Guard is there, as if that wasn't already the case. But to bring federal troops in addition to that is crazy.
The capability of a massive response. And usually I've seen it in responding to many situations in DC. You get an over response. People, officers on the street self-deploy to the area around the spot because they want to be helpful and they want to be able to kind of see what they can accomplish. And that's not that can be challenging with traffic and getting, if you have medevac issues, it's tough to get ambulances in and out of there. But for this, where you're looking for a subject, the more law enforcement, eyeballs that you can put on that problem, the better off you are. So this is also an area where there is an extraordinarily high degree of video capture. Most of that is,
from what I've seen, they wasn't looking for a subject. The subject that they have in custody was immediately captured during the incident. So looking for a subject, everybody should have talked first. If you're gonna lie about something, you need to be in conjunction. That way you won't be telling different lies.
Private businesses, residences, things like that will have street-facing video capture. And so one of the first things you'll see law enforcement do is immediately start hitting the businesses in that area, that 17th and I intersection, to try to see if they can get video of the suspect. That can lead to a description and can put you in the position that we appear to be in now. We don't know if it's video that led them to this person, or maybe eyewitnesses, people on the scene who may have seen things and been able to provide information. But it's great news that they have someone in custody they think is responsible. That will certainly tone down what could have been a very problematic manhunt in the nation's capital on the day before Thanksgiving.
Usually when a foreign national do something, according to as long as I've been here, they would claim responsibility, take responsibility, but they're saying that this man is not cooperating. And he's probably not cooperating because he don't want to, just like the young man that they have in custody for shooting Charlie Kirk. He's not cooperating because he didn't do the shit.
We should also say it's a tough time actually to be in the city because so many folks are trying to leave early to get home to Maryland, to Northern Virginia, and other nearby places where government workers and people who work in DC typically reside. So around this time of day, 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon, you're going to see a massive traffic jams just normally because it's the day before the holidays. All that could really complicate the investigative efforts here.
and Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem now posting that 2 National Guardsmen were shot as part of this, saying, please join me in praying for the 2 National Guardsmen who were just shot moments ago in Washington, D.C. The Department of Homeland Security is working with local law enforcement to gather more information. Again, we just saw that from a post from the Homeland Security Secretary. But Annie McCabe, my question for you is, look, National Guard was deployed here to Washington, D.C. as part of the president's push here, but also why? Can you just talk a little bit about the type of personnel that would typically be outside the White House in a spot like this? Again, a block from the White House, but in that area on a day like this, you have National Guardsmen, but obviously you would have police officers. Just what would the scene typically be like?
You know, Omar, typically it's a super crowded area of the city. You've got to the south and east just a little bit, you have the whole White House compound, right? Where you have the White House itself, the East Wing, the West Wing, the mansion. You've got the old executive office building next door. It's the the Treasury on the other side. You've got the Ellipse, Lafayette Square, all these kind of.
They said several shot. If several people shot, see, that's what makes it stink. This new world odor, that's what makes it stink. They're saying several people were shot, and then they narrowed it down to 2 National Guardsmen. Several. Why can't you say if it was 2 people shot, why can't you just say 2 people were shot? But it's saying several. This is what they initially reported. Several people shot near the White House, including at least 1 National Guardsman, and then it went up to 2.
Kind of square block areas that are part of the White House. All of that is patrolled by the Secret Service Uniform Division. So you've got Secret Service marked vehicles, uniform wearing, gun carrying.
This is just a money grab. Secret Service Uniformed Division. That's like all of us talking about the secret society. If all of us know about the secret society, it's no longer a damn secret. If you're in uniform, how the hell is you Secret Service wearing a goddamn uniform? What's Secret Service on a patch? Makes no sense to me.
Being agents, really saturating that area, especially any places that might give someone access to the White House compound. Now, in addition to that, if you go north of the 17 and I corridor, you cross K Street, now you're into really like the commercial center of DC. All of the law firms, the accounting firms, the lobbying firms, major corporate offices are all right in there on that like K Street corridor, L Street, all those areas going up Constitution Avenue into the more northern part of the city. So tons of office workers, professionals, people who are leaving their offices on foot, trying to make their way to the metro train, or going down into the garage and bringing their vehicles up onto the street. So a lot of traffic, a lot of crowds, a lot of chaos in there normally. In addition, you have all those other law enforcement entities that we talked about. And any one of those entities, Park Police, FBI, Homeland Security, vehicles, doing whatever businesses they have to do, just patrolling, conducting investigations, in the case of Homeland Security folks, conducting maybe immigration activity. So it's a very dense, kind of charged area, both with civilians, with the people like cabinet members and people who would be going in and out of the.
It's kind of crazy to me when I see a whole bunch of immigrants serving as immigration officers. Every time I turn around, you see all kinds of immigrants. When they're not masked, you see immigrants working for immigration. That's crazy.
White House doing business and law enforcement. So that's why I think on our video now, you're seeing a lot of those different uniforms. Now, so add to this very confusing picture, the National Guard, who've been around in DC for a little while, so they're not quite as novel as they were in the first week or two. But these are folks who basically been thrown into a pseudo law enforcement function, most of whom don't really.
And that's exactly the truth. It's a pseudo law enforcement function. They're the National Guard, borders. They're supposed to be sure that no contraband is coming in or out of the United States, and there's no one serving to the detriment of the citizens of the United States or the people of the United States, whatever you want to call them. That's the functionality of the National Guard. They don't have police training. They don't. They don't know case law. They don't know penal code. They don't know any of that. So when somebody tells them that they are violating their rights, they're oblivious to it. The police are oblivious to whether or not they are violating somebody's rights. So the National Guard know less than the police, and the police don't know a goddamn thing. So imagine that.
Have law enforcement backgrounds. And that adds, I think, a real wild card element to this thing. We don't really know how those folks would respond if confronted with a violent incident on the street with an armed person. So there's a lot of variability, I think, in the platform here. And so we'll have to just wait to see what more facts develop from the investigation.
Very important perspective there as we're getting a new vantage point of the scene.
Facts. That means that something that they're going to, not necessarily be the truth, but they will consider facts. No, the people want the truth, not your facts.
Just about a block from the White House in Washington, D.C., where we've learned there's been a shooting. At least 2 National Guardsmen, according to DHS Secretary Kristi Noem, have been shot. Police say that a suspect is currently in custody. Unclear.
See, they changed it from several shot to 2 shot. At first, it was several.
At this point, whether those guardsmen were actually targeted, whether they were responding to an already unfolding incident, those details are being gathered as we speak. And we see a very large law enforcement presence there. We've seen ATF, U.S. Marshals, FBI, and obviously a National Guard member.
My name is Kat Patel, FBI Director. We're here to brief you on the tragic events that happened today at approximately 2:50.
Now we're going to the most incompetent person who ever worked in government. Shouldn't even hold a position in government, but he's head of the Federal Bureau of Investigations. I've never seen so much incompetency in all of my days. If somebody gave him a clue, he'll only have one damn clue. That's how much clueless he is.
15 local time in Washington, D.C., where 2 of our brave members of the National Guard and the Department of War were brazenly attacked in a horrendous act of violence.
You see, he said something key. It used to be the Department of Defense. Now the Department of Defense is called the Department of War. It's an appropriate term because the United States have never defended themselves. They were always the aggressor. They were always war-mongering thieves. So the Department of War is an appropriate term for these more warmongering, murderous thieves.
Violence. They were shot. They're in critical condition. As you can see behind me, we have assembled the full force of both the federal and state and local law enforcement agencies to bring bear all of our resources to make sure we find the perpetrators responsible for this heinous act. And make no mistake, they will be brought to justice. Since this is an assault on a federal law enforcement officer, this will be treated at the federal level as an assault on a federal law enforcement officer. The FBI will lead out on that mission with our interagency partners to include the Department of Homeland Security, Secret Service, ATF, DEA, And we're thankful for the mayor's assistance in this matter, the Metropolitan Police Department and their skills in investigating homicides and gun shootings in this city is exceptional. We will work together collaboratively because this is a matter of national security, because it's a matter of pride. President Trump has been informed. We've been in contact with the White House.
Pride. Wow.
We will shortchange the American public with no resources to make sure we find and safeguard our nation's capital right here in Washington, D.C., and bring anyone responsible for this heinous act of violence to justice. I would lastly like
maybe if you keep your ass off that damn $60 million jet that you flying your girlfriend around in, going to concerts and wrestling matches and shit, stay on the ground some, you'll know what's going on.
Add to the American public and the world, please send your prayers to those brave warriors who are in critical condition and their families. They are here serving our country. They are here protecting everyday Americans and citizens around the world in our nation's capital. They are the heroes of this day, and we must remember them on this day and every day, and their families and the sacrifice they have made. I will now turn it over to Chief Carroll of the Metropolitan Police Department. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jeff Carroll. I'm the Executive Assistant Chief here at the Metropolitan Police Department. At approximately 2:15 this afternoon, members of the DC National Guard were on high visibility patrols in the area of 17th and I Street Northwest when a suspect came around the corner, raised his arm with a firearm, and discharged it at the National Guard members. The National Guard members, there were other members that were in the area. They were able to, after some back and forth, able to subdue the individual and bring them into custody. Within moments, members of law enforcement in the area were also able to assist and bring that individual into custody. At this time, as the director mentioned, the National Guard members are being treated at a local hospital. DC Fire and EMS responded to the scene to provide first aid for those individuals and transport them to a local hospital. The suspect in this case was also transported for treatment at a local hospital. Madam Mayor?
Thank you. I'm Muriel Bowser. I'm the mayor of Washington, D.C., and I too want to send my thoughts and prayers to the families of the guardsmen and to the guardsmen who are in critical condition in a local hospital. I am joined by members and leadership from the DC National Guard, from the West Virginia National Guard, United States Secret Service, Deputy Mayor Pia.
You know, perhaps if they stayed out of our communities, targeting us, if this did happen, just say for the sake of argument, if this did happen, perhaps if they stopped looking at us so much as the criminals, they would find the real criminals, because I don't understand the logic of law enforcement. White men kill police more than we do, 10, 100 times over. But they act like they're so afraid when they approach us. When we don't kill them like their own people kill them, they approach their own people with less caution, and they open themselves to be harmed by their own people.
Fire Chief Donnelly, and Metro's General Manager Randy Clark, and we join with the FBI Director in ensuring that if he investigates, the U.S. Attorney prosecutes this case to the fullest extent of the law. I've had the opportunity to brief U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi, who was speaking to the president when I called, as well as the United States Attorney Pirro, who assured me that this case will have her office's complete attention.
Mayor, was there any other suspect?
Chief.
Sure. So no, at this time, there was no indication that there was any other suspect. The one suspect that was involved in this incident, they were shot during the interaction, and they were transported to the hospital for treatment.
Mayor, does this validate the need for the National Guard here in DC?
If there's only one subject, see, I listen to wordplay. I listen real carefully and attentive. If there's no other suspects, why is the suspect being being referred to as a they. He said they more than once.
We know, Andrea, is that this is a targeted shooting. One individual who appeared to target these guardsmen, that individual has been taken into custody.
Mayor, can you tell us any more details on the condition of the two National Guardsmen and whether or not anyone else was injured? And a quick question follow-up for the FBI director. You said that we'll make sure we find the perpetrators for this act. So just to clarify, the person believed to be responsible is in custody and there are no other suspects.
Sure, so I can start out. Again, Chief Carroll from MPD. So both the individuals, the guard members, they are in critical condition in a local hospital at this time being treated. At this point, we have no other suspects. We have reviewed video from the area. It appears, like I said, to be a lone gunman that raised a firearm and ambushed these members of the National Guard, and he was quickly taken into custody by other National Guard members and law enforcement members.
Any sense of motive?
If he was quickly taken into custody, why was there a narrative that they were pursuing suspects if he was quickly taken into custody?
No, at this time, obviously, we're very in the preliminary stages of investigation. There's a lot of things, a lot of agents that are here from various federal agencies, law enforcement agencies. We have the full power of the FBI and our federal partners here in the task force. So we're looking at all those different aspects, but we don't have any motive. The National Guardsmen that were shot, I'm told they were armed.
Did they get off shots?
At this time, that's part of the preliminary investigation.
Can you explain how the suspect was apprehended?
Sure. So how the suspect was apprehended, as I said, the individual, the suspect came around the corner. He immediately started firing a fire.
These guardsmen were put in harm's way. They were put in harm's way. They don't have training. They don't know what to look for when it comes to, doing police work. They're functioning as police in the inner city when they're used to being on outer skirts, but they're putting them in the inner city. This is what happened when you have someone who are incompetent, who was never in a rank and file, who probably never balled his fist up and threw down with nobody. But he wants to be the commander in chief, but he's really a demander and thief. He demands things and he steals every damn thing. And he's using the National Guard and the federal troops as his personal goons and putting them in harm's way and not even caring about them. He don't even respect the military. I don't understand how they can move for him. And there was a general who advised the soldiers that they shouldn't obey unlawful orders. They said they should stand down when it comes to unlawful orders. Donald Trump got bent out of shape, called the man a traitor, called him a treason, say he should be put to death. And also, one of the most ridiculous things that I heard anyone ever say was, we're thinking about returning him to active duty so we can court-martial him. How are you going to take a retired man and you're going to return him to active duty? You can't just make someone return to active duty. That man have to want to do it. That's the stupidity of the government of the United States. Under this leadership, it's just a much lower bar from the previous ones. Anybody can be president now, anybody. Adam Sattler, somebody, can be president now.
Firearm at the two National Guard members. So at that time, there were other National Guard members that were in the area. They heard the gunfire. They actually were able to intervene and to kind of hold down the suspect after he had been shot on the ground until law enforcement got there within moments.
He was shot by a National Guardsman.
At this point, we're still investigating exactly who shot the individual. It's not clear at this time.
Chief, do you know what kind of weapon was used?
We don't know what kind of weapon. There was DC police. It happened right in front of the Metro, although there is no indication that the perpetrator was on the Metro. So there's Metro Transit Police in the area, and obviously being on 17th Street by the White House, Uniform Division Secret Service were in the immediate area as well.
What kind of weapon the alleged perpetrator used?
We do not know at this time. It's still under investigation.
We're going to be able to take a couple more.
Able to question the suspect, or is his condition so severe that you haven't been able to have a conversation?
Sure. Again, so as I said, we're very preliminary in the investigation, so we're looking to all aspects of who the individual is, his connections. At this time, he's still in the hospital receiving treatment.
And I would just like to add, the reason that this suspect is in custody is because of the bravery of the men and women of the National Guard who responded due to their extensive training to secure American lives today. There was not any further injury and any further shootings. We should highlight the fact that the men and women of law enforcement, the interagency, the Department of War, and the National Guard executed their training with great precision today and prevented an even greater tragedy from befalling us. These National Guardsmen are
training that you don't have, Cash Patel.
Are heroes, and we must pray for their safety and their speedy recovery. And as the chief said, we are in the preliminary stages of this investigation. We will run down every single lead, every piece of evidence. This is the power of the U.S. government at its best at the state, local, and federal level. That is why this interagency group is standing behind us to assure America and the world that we will continue to keep D.C. safe. And thankfully, we have Metropolitan Police Department, the National Guardsmen, and federal agents, and the Department of Justice and the Attorney General willing to prosecute the mission to keep Americans safe. And President Trump has rightly stated that this heinous act will be investigated, and he has thanked the National Guardsmen and women and the men and women of law enforcement.
Thank you. Did the suspect say anything at the time? Why did the West Virginia governor say that? Chief, was that?
Now we're going to hear what the clown had to say.
Assault on 2 National Guardsmen in the nation's capital. So the 2 soldiers remain in critical condition this morning after police say they were both shot at point-blank range, just blocks away from the White House.
We saw one National Guardsman being wheeled out on a stretcher, and he had a device helping pump his heart, it looked like, doing automatic CPR, and his face was covered in blood.
The 29-year-old suspect was tackled at the scene after a brief exchange of gunfire. Law enforcement say he came to the U.S. from Afghanistan about 4 years ago. In response, the president vows to crack down on immigration even further.
There goes the theater part. They're pointing the camera, blurring the scene, and just shooting the act. It's like action. Lights, camera, action.
We're not going to put up with these kind of assaults on law and order by people who shouldn't even be in our country. We must now re-examine every single alien who has entered our country from Afghanistan under Biden.
Let me tell you, an agenda cannot be pushed by just having an agenda. An agenda cannot be pushed without an incident. Something have to happen to justify it. Like the war on terror, when it really was a war of terror. The United States and others going all over the world and just killing people indiscriminately. The war of terror. But something had to happen, even if they make it happen themselves. The people, see, a psychological operation is not a matter of it's fake or if it's real. It's how it affects the people psychologically. But a false flag and something real can affect the people psychologically. But we need to understand the difference between a psyops and a false flag. That's why I say the word all the way out, because a lot of people use terms they don't understand. A psychological operation, whether it's real or fake, affect the people. But a false flag can also be used as a psychological operation, which most case scenario the government does to justify doing what they do.
And we must take all necessary measures to ensure the removal of any alien from any country who does not belong here. If they can't love our country, we don't want them.
We've got CNN senior White House reporter Betsy Klein here now. Betsy, we heard the president basically condemning this as an act of terror, but also expanding his concerns to immigration more broadly. I think he brought up Somalia at one point. Can you talk about what the plans are out of the White House?
Right, Audie, just a really horrific day here in Washington, and the Department of Homeland Security has identified Ramanola Lawlessness as the suspect in the shooting of these two National Guardsmen. Lawlessness is an Afghan national. He came to the United States in 2021 under Operation Allies Welcome. To remind you, that's the Biden-era program that resettled those Afghan nationals in the wake of the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan. He applied for asylum in 2024, and it was granted by the Trump administration.
Again, granted by the Trump administration. And not that that's important. See, the thing that these politicians do is they play the blame game, and everything is political to them. Everything's political to them. Donald Trump can fall down the steps of Air Force One and his wig can fall off. And he'll say, damn it, that damn Biden didn't get the steps fixed when he was president. He would just blame somebody.
In April of this year, he is in custody at an area hospital after being shot. Now, one source tells CNN that this suspect is not cooperating with investigators. We still do not know the motive. We do not know how the suspect got this handgun that he used. We also do not know the full extent of the suspect's injuries at this time. But we do expect to hear more on where this investigation stands from D.C. U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro, as well as FBI Director Kash Patel a little later this morning. President Trump, meanwhile, addressing the nation from Mar-a-Lago last night, he cast blame on the
Exactly what I said. You said Biden didn't let the suspect into the country. The suspect was allowed to come to the country, but you, under your immigration laws, under your immigration tutelage, sending people out, ICE agents, targeting one particular group of people. Now you're circling around. That's what it's called. It's called a circling around. Getting to others and justify sending other people back. There's no way Donald Trump will be able to justify sending Afghans or, somebody from any other nation back to their countries without an incident, especially if they have their paperwork in order. This guy had his paperwork in order because he was granted asylum.
Called for the re-examination of every person who entered the U.S. from Afghanistan during the last administration. Of course, CNN had reported earlier this week that process was already underway. Listen to the president.
The suspect in custody is a hellhole on earth. He was flown in by the Biden administration in September 2021.
Afghanistan wasn't always a hellhole on earth. Most of these countries that are hellholes on earth were living in peace and tranquility before two nations showed up and turned it into what it is today. It's a hellhole on earth because when Afghanistan went to war with the Soviet Union, the United States, who don't like neither one, but you'll choose to fight with Afghanistan to defeat and destroy the Soviet Union, and you promised to rebuild Afghanistan if it came to ruins. But after the war was over, the Soviet Union was crushed and Afghanistan was in ruins, and you didn't keep your deal to rebuild Afghanistan. That's why it's a hellhole on earth. They failed to realize that people were around when all this shit happened.
This attack underscores the single greatest national security threat facing our nation. The last administration let in 20 million unknown and unvetted foreigners from all over the world, from places that you don't want to even know about.
Now, U.S. citizenship.
Just say that you don't know what the hell you're talking about, but you're going to tell somebody else they don't even know about. You don't even know about it. You're the president.
Immigration services have announced moments later that all Afghan immigrant cases are stopping indefinitely pending further review. And I also just want to remind you why these West Virginia guardsmen were here. They have been deployed in Washington since August as part of the president's crime crackdown. That is expected to continue until at least February. President Trump also announced 500 more National Guards members to Washington, D.C. in response to this horrific shooting.
Okay, but it's being called an attack on federal law enforcement. So we've got CNN law enforcement analyst Jonathan Wackrow here now to talk about it.
The National Guard is not federal law enforcement. That's a pseudo law enforcement function. National Guard is not federal law enforcement. If it was Secret Service, if it was the DC Metro Sheriff Department, then it would be law enforcement. National Guard is not law enforcement, and they shouldn't be functioning as law enforcement. That's the main problem.
About how this will unfold. Jonathan, thanks for being here with us this morning. I want to start with what they're going to be looking for from the suspect. As we mentioned, they're an Afghan national and believed to have come in under one of the various asylum programs, which did include vetting. So there's documentation, right, to go and look and learn about this suspect.
Yes. Good morning, Adi. Yes, the suspect came to the United States in 21, and that's the starting point for investigators, right? Like understanding, what happened during that vetting process, how detailed and what was the rigor of the information that they were reviewing at that time. But just the fact that he came in under the U.S. seeking U.S. asylum in 21, it's a relevant fact, but it's actually not the motive. And right now, what investigators are trying to do is actually ask a couple key questions. Most notably, was this a symbolic targeting of the military or some sort of anti-government movement, or was this just rooted in some type of personal grievance? And the way that they're going to do that is the same way that they take any type of shooting situation.
Yes.
They start looking at.
I'm glad he said that, because that's what they do most case scenario, is they work backwards as hell.
It's family members. They start doing a digital trace and looking, combing through the digital exhaust of this individual. Was he connected to other people who had or exhibited animus towards, the United States? Was this part of some sort of ideological movement? Again, that's where we may see a nexus to terrorism. We have not seen that yet, and we have not intimated that that is the case, but that is what investigators are looking for. And they're going to look through this link analysis of these associates and contacts to really piece together this mosaic of data to come to a determination of what is the motive. Now, we know that the suspect is not cooperating, but there are a lot of investigative tools and techniques that are at the FBI's disposal to get to, directionally what that motive may be.
The Trump administration now ordering another 500 National Guardsmen into the city. One thing we've been looking at today is that in the legal challenge process, there was a National Guard memo that had revealed some concerns about the deployment that originally had, where they were basically saying this mission is kind of an opportunity for criminals or violent extremists or lone actors to advance their sort of high visible and potential targets. Can you talk about?
Again, Donald Trump lined them up, put them in harm's way. They don't know how to detect these things. If they was on borders, they'll know exactly what to do. If they was working in their functionality, they'll know exactly what to do. But they're not. They're being used as pawns in Donald Trump's game. They're pawns in his game.
About that from a law enforcement perspective?
Yeah, absolutely. And, I had mentioned this yesterday in the aftermath of the tragic incident, but right now we've seen a shift. And what I said is that, I believe that we've hit the point of marginal utility, especially in Washington, D.C., with the benefit of the National Guard. And what I mean by that is, they are on site to provide a visual deterrent, to show that visible force of, surging law enforcement within the national capital.
With all the police in Washington, D.C., it's Washington Metro, Secret Service, Sheriff's Department, and then you have Maryland, then you have Virginia surrounding that. All they have to do is show some presence. A physical, visible deterrent can come from all those municipalities, because Washington, D.C. is the capital, and any of those surrounding states can go into D.C. That makes no sense for him to send National Guard in. Makes no sense, because the National Guard is supposed to protect the borders, and National Guards, every state has their National Guard. If the mayor or the governor of that state don't see fit to call the National Guard, if they do, they have their own National Guard in their state that they can call. They don't need to call the president to send a National Guard in, because they can just call the National Guard as the governor. It's supposed to be at the discretion of the governor, not the president. He's overreaching his perceived authority.
Region. But now it has shifted. We've heard from government officials say that these guardsmen were targeted directly. If that is the case, adding 500 more to the area just increases the potential targeting of these National Guard members. Now, you do have to.
When somebody wants their way, they don't care whether or not they're putting people in harm's way. They'll do what it takes to get their way, regardless of who is harmed, regardless of who end up being the patsy or the fall guy. As long as he gets his way, he can say, I won. He won personally. He don't care who we lose, putting people on the front line. And that's the act of an outright coward. He's been a coward since I've known about him, a coward.
Address this crime and broader criminal acts throughout the area. I'd rather see more law enforcement than more soldiers put at risk in a mission defined for them.
Okay, Jonathan Lacroix, thanks so much.
Gonna move on from there. Trump administration files emergency.
So this is the scene now.
Files emergency motion to keep National Guard in D.C. after shooting. See, again, that's why I say it stinks. It's a new world order. That's why I say this, because it was a order signed that the National Guard will have to leave D.C. in about 2 weeks. And it's so convenient that something happened, and now he's going to order more troops in D.C. because they had to leave in 2 weeks. How convenient is that? They had to leave in 2 weeks because their federal judge said, no, it's unlawful. They don't belong there. They have to go. But now he wants to order more troops to go into D.C.
Washington, D.C., after 2 members of the National Guard were shot and critically wounded this afternoon. The guardsmen were near a bus stop outside a commuter train station when, according to police, a gunman came around the corner.
Black Wolf, salute, peace. Thanks for joining, family.
and intentionally targeted him. The suspect was captured by other Guard members who were nearby. Sources say the motive is unclear at this hour. Also, this just into us here at CNN. The Trump administration has just filed an emergency motion to keep the National Guard in Washington, D.C. CNN senior justice correspondent Evan Paris is joining us now. So, Evan, what does this mean?
Well, what the Trump administration is doing is appealing this order that came from a judge just a few days ago, siding with the D.C. Attorney General's office, which had sued the administration over the deployment of those National Guard here in Washington, D.C. Now, what the city Attorney General had filed was arguing that the administration, that the president had exceeded his authority to use and to deploy National Guard on the street of D.C. to essentially do crime fighting, to not for other purposes, including perhaps putting down an insurrection, right, which is the purpose of the National Guard in the city. And so,
yeah, but they was nowhere to be seen when there was an insurrection about 4 years ago. People want to scream insurrection. There was an outright insurrection 4 years ago, sanctioned by the very guy who's sending troops all into the city. And most of these guys who are wearing those uniforms, masking up, are untrained. Some of them are not even law enforcement. They are paying people $50,000 sign-on bonuses, which is probably more than some of the cops make in the damn city. They're getting in as a sign-on bonus. Can you imagine how the police that work there every day feel? Sign-on bonus, $30,000 to $50,000 sign-on bonus to run around untrained. That's why they're wearing masks. And when I look and see, I see all kinds of damn immigrants working as immigration. Immigrants are doing it. Makes no sense.
The judge had agreed with the D.C. Attorney General's office, but had stayed the ruling for a few days to give the administration time to appeal. And that is what now has happened. The administration is saying that essentially this ruling really does interfere with the president's authority to deploy the National Guard, and it is his sole authority to be able to decide how to do that, Erica.
Okay, so as we have this new piece of the puzzle coming in here, I do also want to ask you about what unfolded this afternoon and what we know at this hour. So authorities confirming the two guardsmen were in fact targeted. Are we learning anything more about the suspect and a potential motive, though?
At this point, they have not identified the suspect, and we don't know a motive. Certainly, the authorities have not said a motive, but the way it played out, it appears that this was an ambush. The assailant comes around and comes at a pretty high rate walking, and these guardsmen never saw him coming. He manages to fire off at least 3 shots.
The guards didn't see him coming because the guards are not police. They don't know what to look for. They don't know case law. They don't know penal code. They don't know anything about inner city policing. The police themselves barely know it. You see how much the police violate the rights of people? It's because they don't care about knowing the law. It's about compliance. It's about obeying them. It's about actually policy. The term police is about the policy. And when they say serve and protect, they're serving and protecting businesses, not the people. And they're not even obligated to protect you. By law, they're not. By law, they're not.
One of them is struck immediately. The other one struck, and both of them fall. The third guardsman, who was right there, appears eventually to have returned fire, and that's where, according to the authorities, he was struck. But look, the FBI is now very much involved in this, because what you're raising, obviously, the motive is going to be very important. Here's what the FBI Director Kash Patel said at a press conference in the last hour. Listen. Oh, well, we don't have his. So
we got the Federal Bureau of Investigation so busy covering up corruption by the government that they didn't know that a foreign national had been planning things. They didn't even know it. The guards didn't see it coming. See, if Cash Patel was keep his ass on the ground instead of in that jet all the damn time, flying all around the country and doing some real investigating, they were doing their work, their job, this probably would have been, foiled. But no, you got a whole administration of incompetent ass people who don't care nothing about law, absolutely nothing about law and order. Because if you look at the lawlessness of the government, it's obvious they don't care anything about law and order.
His sound ready, but what he was describing is simply the fact that these are federal officers that were targeted.
Casino, salute, peace.
Makes this an FBI investigation. Now, I can tell you this, Erica, behind the scenes, FBI is putting all of their resources into this. They are counterterrorism agents. They are people who obviously have a lot of experience in these types of environments in like urban settings, shootings in urban settings. So those are the resources that are being brought to bear because they are right now trying to figure out, again, what motive could be behind this. And obviously, they're going to be looking at some of the video. We know that this happened right next to the Farragut Square, which is right near the White House, just a couple blocks north of the White House. And there's a couple of metro stations there. So there's very good video of everything that happened from the Washington metro system.
This is what make it a theater. Very good video. Unless there's, I know in DC that there's surveillance cameras everywhere because surveillance cameras are everywhere in most cities. But that's what makes it a theater. Because the camera that caught the incident wasn't hanging on the wall. That camera was being held by someone because I don't see no stability in the camera as far as like shooting the footage. So that wasn't no surveillance camera hanging on the wall that caught that. It's all a theater.
That's what they're studying. And again, they're using all of that to try to determine what possible motive apparently in his initial interaction with law enforcement, he wasn't cooperating, but obviously that it may change in the near future. In the meantime,
he's saying he's not cooperating. If he was wounded after shooting the guardsman, and also I would like to know who returned fire. If they say he was immediately apprehended, if the National Guardsmen were not armed and they wasn't the one who returned fire, who returned fire, striking the perpetrator?
Trying to work to identify him and figure out whether there's anything else that this person was trying to carry out here at that scene area. Okay.
All right, Evan Perez, appreciate it. Thank you.
Sure.
Such an unsettling situation, understandably, amplified, of course, by the fact that it is the night before Thanksgiving. The National Guard shooting itself was referred to as an ambush. This happening just steps follow developments in this afternoon's breaking news out of Washington, D.C. I want to bring you up to speed with what we know at this hour. 2 members of the National Guard are in critical condition after being shot this afternoon in what authorities are calling a targeted attack. In a social media post shortly after that attack, President Trump said the suspect was seriously wounded, that the administration has filed an emergency motion a short time to keep the National Guard in Washington, D.C. The president also, according to the Secretary of Defense, ordering an additional 500 National Guard troops be posted in Washington. Back with us, Donnell Harvin, former chief of Homeland Security.
Well, they're saying this guy came from Washington State on the other side of the country. Came from Washington State to Washington, D.C. This is what they're
and
saying.
Intelligence for the government of the District of Columbia. Good to have you back here. So looking at what we know at this hour, we're told this was an ambush, that it was targeted, but we do not know a motive exactly. And the suspect, we're told, is not cooperating. Given those parameters, what is happening at this moment in the investigation as law enforcement tries to get a better sense of who this person is and why this happened?
Yeah, and this is not unique to investigations. When there's no suspect or when the suspect has been killed or deceased, law enforcement is still able to backtrack their communications, their movements, and understand what their motive is. So I think motive is very important here. The individual, while he's not cooperating, they can get fingerprint from him, they can get DNA from them, and I'm sure they're running those through national and international, quite possibly, databases right now. The important thing is to understand, while we do have a suspect in custody, that there aren't other individuals that he either were planning this attack with or that may have known that this attack was happening and may be complicit in reporting this. And so that's what they're backtracking now, along with the motive, which everyone wants to know, to make sure that this is truly a lone actor.
And there is what will be incredibly full, and I'm sure is already helpful in this moment, even though we don't yet have the details, the sheer number of cameras that there are in Washington, D.C., the angles and what would be available to investigators in that location.
Absolutely. And Washington, D.C. is one of the most heavily surveilled cities in the world. You can't go a block or two without being caught on some private or public building CCTV. And so whether he came in through the metro, there's cameras on the metro. If he was walking on foot, there's cameras all around, especially in that downtown area. If he drove and parked somewhere nearby, there's what we call license plate readers, or LPRs, and cameras throughout the district on traffic lights. So they're going to be able to rapidly know. In fact, they probably already know who this individual is, and they're probably drawing up warrants to.
Yeah, they probably do know who this individual is, because when they choose their patsy, they profile them first. So they know exactly who he is, because that person has to fit the criteria, and they profile them. If they fit the criteria, they use them.
Execute searches as we speak.
So we're looking at live pictures here. That, of course, is the White House at the top of everybody's screen there who's watching now. So for people, Danelle, who are not familiar with this area, this is in the neighborhood of 17th and I Streets. This is near the Farragut West Metro. Just give us a sense of how busy this area is at 2:15 in the afternoon on a Wednesday. How much law enforcement present there would be, given that we are just blocks from the White House? I mean, what would that look like? Who would traditionally be in that area?
That's a very busy area for law enforcement. That's what we would call the expanded patrol area for the U.S. Secret Service Uniform Division. So you'll see uniformed Secret Service officers. They patrol that area, as well as DC MPD, as well as the DC Metro, the Metro Police that ride.
Uniform Secret Service sound crazy to me. What makes them Secret Service if they're in uniform?
The metro stations. Layer on top of that, the National Guard. You're not going to be able to commit a crime in that location and not have someone on top of you within 15 or 20 seconds, literally. And that's what we saw. Even though these individuals were shot, other National Guards people responded so quickly and were able to subdue this individual because that area is really dense with law enforcement.
We're going to move on from this video. It's over anyway, another 6 seconds. And I want to show our people that it doesn't matter who's in that uniform. It don't matter. Once even our own people get that perceived authority, they want to flex it, and they don't care anything about our rights also. So it don't matter who's in that uniform. And then sometimes you'll have a woman that's in that uniform who can potentially give birth to one of us, will still behave just like this open and consistent enemy. They don't care. and they don't mind serving to the detriment of their people. They don't get into these departments to make a change. The change that we want, we have to make it, but that's not the sentiment of these people who look like us that get this job. Now, I'm going to go to a video where our own wants to be disrespectful and violate the rights of a young brother who's just exercising his First Amendment right, and that's to record in a federally funded, meaning taxpayers funded building. And then on the same video, I'm going to show how the police have no credibility and they lie naturally. They are natural liars. Lying come to them naturally. I guess that's the criteria you have to have in order to fit on a police department. You have to be a natural liar.
You making my job way more difficult than it has to.
Peace to my brother Key Norfolk. Making my job more difficult than it is. Him not cooperating and capitulating to her unlawful orders and requests is making her job a lot harder. She's a sergeant and she has 2 female officers with her, look rather young to me, and she's training them. This female sergeant is training them. This is Baton Rouge. It should be Baton Rouge, because I understand that's a very corrupt municipality, the police department. Now, if your field training officer is corrupt, he's going to train you to be corrupt, or she's going to train you to be corrupt. And the worst thing we need to have that have perceived power is someone who has a power trip, don't know how to use that to elevate our people. Now, we're going to watch this video. Now, the answer to when someone's saying why you're making it difficult or why you're making my job harder, the answer to that should always be, I will never make it easy for you to violate my rights. It will always be hard. It'll never be easy to violate my rights. I'm going to give you pushback every time, from the beginning to the end.
You making my job way more difficult than it has to be.
Committed a crime.
Sir, I'm not here to be interviewed, okay? I'm asking you for your information for the report.
Do you suspect me of committing a crime? Look, they got my property. Give me my stuff. They searching through my bag. You don't have a right to search my stuff.
You have the right to get your identity.
You don't have to ID the police absent a crime. You don't. You just don't. Not absent a crime. And you don't need someone ID to fill out a report. All you have to do, if someone's filming and the police are called, you go in, you inform the people that you don't have no expectation of privacy in public. This is a federally funded building. The man paid taxes, so I can't tell him to stop. You go and you educate the people around there. But no, they want to make this, they want to violate this brother's rights by going through his things. All 3 of these young women will actually be, I will file charges against all 3 of them for going through my things.
No, you don't. You are the subject of a complaint.
This video is courtesy of Always Film the Popo Media.
Keep telling you, okay, while you standing up here with the phone recording me, you can actually make this a little bit easier.
Make it easier for her to violate his rights. That kills me when they say make this easier. Like let you impede on my rights. that's making it easier for you. Nah.
Give me your ID.
As long as you're not making any threats or trying to hurt anybody or doing anything malicious, that you're more than welcome to do what you're doing.
Bless you, man. Seriously. God, I love law enforcement that knows the law.
He was trying to make me in.
Now watch how fast this cop here lie. This fat sack of shit demon goes in and say to the people inside this establishment, totally contrary to what was said outside.
Age with him.
Yeah.
But I told him, I said, as long as you stay on the sidewalk, don't harass nobody, do what you're doing. And
Okay.
he said, oh, you know the game? And he shook my hand. I was like, yeah, I know the game. So he's like, man, I hate it when they know the law.
That man just said he love it when the police knows the law. He goes in there and tell them the exact opposite.
God bless you, man. Seriously.
Listen,
God, I love law enforcement that knows the law.
He's like, man, I hate it when they know the law.
Did you catch that? They lie naturally.
We have cops violating rights. Let's watch. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host Peeps, and in today's video we have cops violating rights and earning the hate. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Leave a comment and a like to help this video spread for others to enjoy. As always, I will leave the links to all the original videos in the description below, so be sure to visit their channels and show them your support. Now let's get into the video.
Said it's just right.
Sir, what's going on?
It's all on the tape. He's recording it.
What's going on? What's going on today?
I'm going in. He's filming everyone who's coming in here. He's coming in here filming it.
How long you been here?
I got here about 5 minutes ago. And he's saying it's his right to do whatever he wants.
What's illegal about it?
That's what you had said to him?
What's illegal about it?
That's what you told him?
Go talk to the post office. Go talk
I'm talking to you, though.
I ain't got nothing to talk about.
We got to talk to him when I start to get here.
All righty. Well, y'all have a nice time, okay? All right.
Even the Postmaster General say that people can film inside the post office. And also, that's the post office is paid for by taxpayers' dollars. That means that building belongs to that young man who's filming. As long as he don't go in there acting a fool, trashing the place or impeding people's movement and making people not necessarily uncomfortable, but violating the laws and the rights of other people, he can film all day. It's time, place, manner. Time, place, manner. If he's there during business hours and he's not violating anybody's rights, he can be there all day if he want to. Time, place, manner.
Yeah, they go. This is federal property. He can't come in here and do that.
Yeah, he can do it because it's they say he can do it.
Then he needs to take his mask off.
No, he ain't got.
See, that's the thing. Listen to this. This demon right here wants to assert some type of authority on the brother because he's filming, telling him what he need to do.
Why? Because you want me to take my mask off? Why do I have to do what you want me to do?
I want you to leave us.
You can't tell other people what to do.
People here alone.
You are not in control of nobody but yourself.
Nobody in that place said the man was bothering him. And he said nothing to anyone. His very presence, if his very presence bother you, that's your problem, because you cannot expect privacy in public. If you want privacy, you got to create privacy. That's it. Somebody can stand on a sidewalk that's a public easement. If your window is open, they can film inside your goddamn house. Only thing you got to do, pull your shade down, close your blinds. That's it. You can't stop them from doing it, even though it's creepy as hell. You can't expect privacy in public. You got to create privacy. When somebody come to your window and looking in your window, then that's violating your privacy. But if they're on the street not on your property. You cannot trespass somebody's eyes. Anything somebody can see with their eyes, they can film. That's the law.
You're in control of everything. You're trying to take control of people's privacy.
Bullshit. I'd like to say greetings to my wife. She's in the chat. Hey, Puddin'.
You talk to the people behind the thing, or just the people in here?
I didn't see anything going on in here. I just seen when it came out.
Oh.
I had just pulled it up. And I was trying to tell him this man got the right to record, but
So who called?
he did.
So the people in here didn't call?
No. They wouldn't call.
He called me an MF and other things.
No, I didn't.
He's lying. The man said nothing like that. And what's crazy about that is everything is on camera, and he'll still lie and say that man called him out his name. When everything is on camera, some people are natural liars. In particular, most Caucasians lie natural. It rolls off their tongue naturally.
You did. It's on your tape.
It's not illegal to.
And not only that, calling him a motherfucker is not against the law. You can call a cop that. That's freedom of speech. As long as what he said didn't incite violence, he can say it.
So he called an MF?
It's disrespectful with sticking the camera in my face when I walked in the door.
Because I saw so the people inside the call. No, he did.
And this is such a waste of resources, man. Such a waste of time.
Let me get you.
I don't know.
One guy he was standing outside, he just like he could work more. They didn't call. He called.
Yes, ma'am. And this mask is for medical purposes.
Okay. Let's go, sir. They want you to leave.
They didn't ask me to leave.
They want you to leave.
Can you take your hands off me?
This is lazy policing, saying they just want you to leave. No, that's lazy policing. Want to leave the scene instead of solving the problem, expecting the problem to go away by just making him leave. That's not how the law goes. Going in there, nobody said, now that man who was standing in line who called the police. She was supposed to go and talk to him, inform him that he's doing a constitutionally protected activity. I can't make him leave. I can't make him turn his camera away from you. If you want privacy, go home. That's what should have been said to the man in line. But to come to him and tell him that he has to leave because she's being lazy, she's a sergeant, meaning that she's a supervisor and she got subordinate officers with her and not teaching them how to police, how to handle situations, how to solve problems. She's not teaching them that. And those look like little girls. Those subordinate officers look like little girls.
Can you take your hands off of me, please? What are you doing? Why are you touching me? What am I doing wrong?
Okay, the police are calling you, so I'm asking you for ID.
You're breaking the law, though.
No, nobody said.
Can you please take your hands off?
You're breaking the law when you don't leave after they ask you.
They never asked me to leave, man. Okay, well, I'll leave then. They want me to leave?
I still got to get your information.
No, you don't.
I do.
I'm not breaking the law.
Hang on, Tess.
What am I?
She just told him he's not breaking the law. Once that's established, she can't go in and get any qualified immunity. If this man were to sue her, she'll lose terribly because she just made it established that she knew that he wasn't breaking the law. If he's not breaking the law, he's not in your custody. You can't take him into custody. He don't have to show ID. He don't have to talk to you or any of that. Once it's established that he didn't break the law. And the sergeant said this.
What am I doing? You want your property, sir?
But you got my stuff. What
Look,
you doing?
the police were called on you. Okay, so we got to get your information for the report since the police were called on you. All right?
What did I do
It's not that
illegal?
difficult.
What did I do illegal?
Sir, you are the subject of a complaint.
That doesn't mean anything. I didn't commit a what crime do you suspect me of committing?
Okay. I told you to leave. Okay.
Okay, I'll leave. Give me my stuff.
Well, I gotta identify you.
And the people in the post office never asked me.
Sir,
to leave.
I still have to identify you.
I do this
It's not
every
the truth. She do not have to identify him because the police was called on him. He could be sitting in his car and somebody can call the police on somebody being vindictive and being spiteful. And you're not subjected to that foolishness because somebody called the cop. They always say, we got a call. That's their favorite thing. We got a call. I don't care if you got a call. Stop being lazy and do your investigation. If your investigation is unfounded, you move on to the next damn call. That's it. Clear the call and leave. That's it.
Where?
Yes.
I got permission from the postal inspector.
No, she didn't.
I got permission. I
She
just
just said he
talked
was in
to
the
the
But you're
postal
still a
inspector.
subject of a complaint. Whenever we get a
I'll
complaint.
leave.
Okay, but I gotta get your information for our report.
Why didn't you get his name? He called the police.
We did
What
get his
crime
Well, we
did I-
got his
Tell me
information,
what
sir.
crime did I commit?
I'm asking you nicely for your information.
Tell me what crime did I commit?
Is there some reason you won't give me your information? Do you have warrants or something?
No, I'm just.
Now she's gonna go the Caucasian cop route. Because somebody is not letting you impede on their rights, people don't want to give you ID if they don't have to, because it would be surrendering their rights. It'd be outside of their rights. Warrants don't have anything to do with this man's rights being violated. If he chooses not to give you his ID or talk to you, it's because perhaps he don't want to. Perhaps he don't like the police. Warrants, that's the first thing they start being suspicious and not wanting to give your ID is not supposed to draw suspicion to you. These people know this. They know it, but they don't care anything about the rights of the people.
Asking what crime did I
Okay,
commit?
so, and I'm asking you, why are you being so difficult?
I'm leaving. I'll leave.
Because he's supposed to always make it difficult for you to violate his rights. It's never supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be difficult as hell to violate his rights.
I don't know what's going on.
I still got to get your information for the report.
Did I commit a crime?
Did I say you committed a crime,
Okay, then,
sir?
well, you don't have no authority over me.
If you want this stuff and you can record, you're going to give me your...
And then she takes his stuff, hold his stuff, and that's the conditions whether or not, if you don't talk to me, I'm going to hold your stuff. She just put money in his pocket by doing that. If he take this to court, more than likely, he's going to win a lawsuit. I don't know what's going to become of her because they say Baton Rouge, I call it Baton Rouge, is corrupt. But he can get some money out of this, though.
Your information for the report.
Did I commit a crime?
You're going to give me your information for the report, sir.
Did I commit a crime?
We can stand here all day, okay?
I'm just asking.
You making my job way more difficult than it has to be.
Committed a crime.
Watch the outcome of this situation.
Sir, I'm not here to be interviewed, okay? I'm asking you for your information for the report. Ideas up in here.
Look, they got my property. Give me my stuff. What are y'all doing, man? Give me my stuff.
The man did not submit to any search or seizures. They violated Fourth Amendment rights. That's another violation.
They searching through my bag. You don't have a right to search my stuff.
You have the right to get your identification.
No, you don't.
You are the subject of a complaint. I keep telling you.
That is infringing on his Fourth Amendment rights. He did not submit to any search or seizures. For them even having that bag in their hand, and they took his selfie stick with his phone on it. So the young lady that got the bag, all three of them can be sued by him. All three of them.
Okay, while you standing up here with the phone recording me, you can actually make this a little bit easier.
It's their favorite thing. Make it easier. Make it easier for them. It's always supposed to be hard when they try to violate your rights. Make it very difficult.
And you can give me your ID.
What crime did I commit? I didn't commit a crime.
Okay, hold tight right there.
I did not commit a crime.
Well, I'm not gonna go back.
I got permission to record in there.
I get permission.
She's about to go call her supervisor and watch the outcome.
Ask the postal worker. What are you talking about?
So we said, did they want you to record here? And they said no. I don't know.
What are you talking about?
That's not how it goes. Do they want you to record here? The law is, it's not about feelings. They're not the feelings enforcement. They are law enforcement. They're supposed to enforce the law. Whatever the law say, that's what they're supposed to enforce. You're not supposed to walk around caring about people's feelings. If you're uncomfortable, take your ass in the house. The law say that he can do it. That's what they're supposed to be enforcing.
I can record in there. I just talked to the postal inspector.
So why they told us no?
I'm not doing this, man. All y'all doing is trying to gaslight somebody. I have permission to record in there. Give me my stuff. If y'all want me to leave, I'll leave.
You should have been there before we got here. When the people asked you to leave.
They never asked me to leave.
When I went in there, she said she wanted you to leave.
I got it on camera. This is how BRPD do, always breaking the laws and stuff, violating people's rights.
What crime we commit?
You're not giving me my property.
Because you're not giving us identification.
So you holding my stuff hostage?
It's not hostage.
And this is what this is how they're being trained. These little girls, this is how they're being trained to be tyrants. She asked what crime did she commit? You are harboring the man's property. That's the crime. And if he is smart, he will sue them. He will sue them.
Give me my stuff, please.
Give us your ID.
Give me my stuff, please.
Give us your ID.
Please give me my stuff.
No, he was just inside the post office filming people, and they didn't want to be filmed, and rather than the post office ask him to leave.
That little girl's breath still smell like down, probably Similac or Good Start. Guarantee her breath still smell like baby milk.
They called us first.
They never asked me to leave from here. They told me to record in there, just stay in the lobby. That's what they told me. And I said, I'll do that, even though I can record.
And that brother straight up told the cops that it was untrue. The brother with the all black on straight up told the police that none of that happened what the man said. And he was told that he can film in there. And they're still doing this. That's why I say it don't matter who's in that uniform. They have the same mentality. And if you give them any type of perceived authority, they're going to try to flex it. And I hate to say it, especially as a goddamn woman.
Okay. That's not the lobby right there?
They said they didn't want you in there. You had a whole.
No, I'm saying, is this the lobby right here?
They don't want you in there.
But I'm saying, when you walk, this is the lobby, right?
You know the people.
And the brother can't be trespassed absent an incident. If he don't go in, if the people in there get riled up and they start being uneasy and they cause the ruckus, it's not his fault. If he's not saying anything to them, what's crazy, you got people that'll walk up to the camera and say, don't film me. Why would you walk up to a camera and say, don't film me?
That's what I'm saying. They told me to record inside of the lobby. That's the lobby, ain't it? Oh, well, whatever.
Okay. Okay. You can't be.
Here goes the cosplaying. Here comes the cheap talk. They can't help it. They have to say something. They have to assert some type of regulation or order towards you. Her supervisor, who probably a lieutenant or captain, told her to give him his shit and leave him alone. But they can't help it. They got to try to assert something.
harassing customers while they're in there. Okay.
Never did that.
Well, I don't know.
Never did that.
I
Never
wasn't
did
here.
that. I never did it. I never did it. I'm not breaking the law. Give me my property.
Can you let me talk?
I don't want to hear it.
Okay.
She's going to say it again. What she attempted to say, because they can't help it. They just can't help it.
Ain't being there harassing customers.
I'm done, ma'am. I'm done. I know what I'm doing. I know my job. I'm not breaking the law. There's a lot of crimes in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I'm pretty sure you want to go catch some real criminals. Give me my property and go on your way. I'm just being, give me my stuff. You should be ashamed of yourself. Give me my stuff.
And now all four of them, in particular the women, because I haven't seen the man until the end of this video, feel cheap because they were told to stand down, give the man his property, and leave him alone. He's within his rights. And then she's going to say, don't be harassing people. The man never did that. Nobody said, he said nothing to anybody in that post office. People were saying things to him, in particular, the Caucasian man who called the police. The man standing next to him wasn't saying anything. The brother in line said the man's within his rights. But he had, the dude had, the white man who called the cops had a problem in the first place. No. Keep your ugly ass in the house. You don't want to be seen.
All right.
Anyway, man, I'm not turning this off until I depart from these guys, man. Because they are so crooked in Baton Rouge. In Baton Rouge, did they have a some kind of building where they was torturing people? Just crooked as hell, dude. Just crooked ass cops. And there's black cops doing it. So
they were charged. Those cops were charged for violating this man's rights. He's probably going to get some money.
Don't think that just because they're black, they're not going to do it. It's just as worse.
As seen in many videos, police officers often misinterpret a citizen's right to record in public as disrespectful disturbances, as interference or disorderly conduct, when it is in fact merely a means of documenting events of public interest. Unfortunately, there has been a widespread, continuing pattern of law enforcement showing disdain towards First Amendment auditors when explaining the right to record in public to uninformed citizens. Often saying, unfortunately, there is nothing I can do, but what they really mean is, I wish I could. Let's watch.
Have you ever seen the videos on the internet of the First Amendment auditors?
Mm-hmm.
That's what he is.
Okay.
He's on a public sidewalk. He's not harming anyone. He's not breaking the law. He can film anything that he can see in public, as long as he doesn't try to go into like a bathroom or a private area where someone would expect privacy, like a medical office or something like that. He's perfectly allowed to do what he's doing.
Okay. So.
And that should have been it. Have a good day, ma'am. And walk out. He had to add the extra BS.
He's videoing all of our vehicles. So all of our plates.
So that's no different than if I drove through and did it.
Okay.
Anything that you can see from public, he can walk up and look inside your car.
So what happens if he's here when we go to leave the bank? That's a security issue.
If he's here when you go to leave the bank, just call for one of us. We'll sit in the parking lot till you get into your vehicles and leave safely. But as far as what he's doing right now, he's not breaking the law. He's on the sidewalk. He's not on your property.
Okay.
He's, like I said, he's on a public sidewalk.
So if he comes onto our parking lot.
If he comes onto the parking lot, you can say, hey, we don't want you here.
Okay.
But he knows where the line is and where to push it to. So that's what they do for a living.
Okay.
So they try to get reactions from us.
Okay.
So we'll arrest them, and then they sue us for unlawful arrest and violating their First Amendment, and then he's a millionaire. Because that's how that works.
Gotcha.
If you've seen some of the videos.
Gotcha.
They try to trick us into doing something stupid. So we violate his
in most case scenario, you do something stupid.
Constitutional rights, and he hires a First Amendment lawyer. Next thing you know, Sevierville's on the headlines.
Yeah.
National news, $10 million awarded to Bob Smith because he ticked off the wrong cop
Yeah.
and got arrested.
Yeah.
But that's how that works. and he's been here before. He's successful. He's sued departments and made money, so he's known.
Okay.
He's not he knows what he's doing. So if he comes over here, he's going to deliberately try to antagonize you to get you to say or do something stupid.
Okay.
And to get you in trouble. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So if he comes over here, as long as he's not making any threats to hurt you, to harm you, or anything like that, I ignore him, because that's what he wants as a reaction.
Okay.
And that's why he's filming everything. So he can look later on, look, Judge, look what they did to me.
Gotcha.
And it's not just my camera, it's his camera view too. And then the judge is going to say, Officer Lee, why'd you arrest that man? He wasn't doing anything. And then I'm fired. City gives him a $10 million check. And then I can never be a cop again, because nobody's going to hire me because I violated someone's constitutional rights. You see what I'm saying?
Nobody got $10 million, not for no arrest, probably for, the cops handling the man violently, but nobody got $10 million for no First Amendment audit for a cop arresting them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's annoying, but there's absolutely nothing we can do about it.
Okay. So if he is still here at the end of the day, we just call like I did.
Now, if he's standing in the Big Lots parking lot and it's quitting time, he can tell me to kick rocks.
Yeah.
Because, he's not in your parking lot,
right,
preventing you from doing anything. He's just don't even acknowledge that he's here. Be the best bet, because that's what he wants. He wants to scare you. So you call us, and then we say something stupid, or you get a younger cop that don't know or thinks he's doing the right thing. The next thing you know, he's got him lawsuit and got some money.
Gotcha.
That's the whole purpose.
Okay.
So
all right, I will relay that up to our corporate office.
yeah, but you can look.
The purpose is asserting the First Amendment rights, the right to film, because if you don't use your rights, you'll lose your rights. And then all of a sudden we can't film cops, but they have body cameras. It's about accountability. That's what it's about, accountability.
Look them up on the internet, just First Amendment auditors. They're notorious. And then you get somebody that, like a younger officer or an officer that don't care, that thinks he knows but don't. Next thing you know, the city owes this guy, names his price, because what's the price of your freedom? You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
All right.
Well, I appreciate you.
Hey, no problem. But like I said, he's a real friendly guy. He
He was not very friendly when our branch manager came and just asked him for information.
He probably told you to kick rocks. He didn't have to tell you,
He
right?
said, you can go tell your daddy.
See?
You can go tell your daddy.
See, that's what he wanted.
Get some information.
That's
Go tell your daddy.
and see, if I'd asked him that, that's what he'd have done too. I never even asked him his name.
Yeah.
But he has been here before.
Okay.
But that's how I knew him. I didn't have to ask his name. I already know it. So.
But okay.
I see both of them lie outright, straight up lie. Both of them lied.
That's fine.
Yeah.
As long as he's fine.
But yeah, see, that's what they want, because I'm going to say, hey, where's your driver's license?
Yeah. I don't want to get robbed again.
Right. And I understand. But he's just out there taking pictures.
Nobody's going to come in with a camera pointed and commit a robbery while they're on camera. Stupid.
And as soon as I pulled in the parking lot, he stuck the camera on me and followed me around what I was doing.
Yeah.
He was trying to make me engage with him.
Yeah.
But I told him, I said, as long as you stay on the sidewalk, don't harass nobody, do what you're doing. And
Okay.
he said, oh, you know the game? And he shook my hand. I was like, yeah, I know the game. So he's like, man, I hate it when they know the law.
That is not what that man said. That man said he loved it when the police know the law. He did not say I hate it.
That's exactly what he wanted, was me to do something stupid so he could get some money.
God bless you, man. Seriously. God, I love law enforcement that knows the law.
He's like, man, I hate it when they know the law.
I love law enforcement that knows the law.
So, but I've done notified everybody. And he said he's going to be going to multiple businesses to try to do exactly what he did here. So, but we already know. So maybe if we don't pay any attention, he'll go Pigeon Forge and bother them or something. So,
there you go.
All right. But like I said, as long as he doesn't threaten anybody, hurt anybody, or try to go into like a bathroom and film someone. Now, if he comes inside the bank, which he won't, because he knows he can't, unless he has like an account, you can, you know what I'm saying? Even if he did have an account, if he was causing a disturbance, you could ask him to leave.
Okay.
But he won't come inside the business because he knows
causing a a disturbance is subjective because that would be based on how they feel, and they would be talking about how they feel. Because if he comes in there just to conduct his business and they feel uncomfortable and they feel disturbed by the camera, that would be causing a disturbance and it'd be subjective. So it should be real cut and clear. If he's not disturbing the business, if he has an account, he should be able to come and conduct this business and film his business that he's taking care of.
His what he can push and what he can't. But all right, but if he's on your property doing that, you can ask him to step to the sidewalk. But as far as where he's at now, he's good. All right, just call us back if you need anything. Yep. How's it going, man?
I am exceptional. How about
Except me
yourself?
too. Well, I've done explain to them in there that you're allowed to do everything that you're out here doing.
God bless you, brother.
And
You know,
there's no issue.
Sevierville's so damn friendly. Yeah. The chances of the cops coming out here and busting my chops is slim to none. And slim
No, man.
She said, I got to call the authorities. I go, you can call your mom, your dad. Who you calling?
Yeah, I got
The police aren't going to bust my
No,
chops.
we've done told them that as long as you're not making any threats or trying to hurt anybody or doing anything malicious, that you're more than welcome to do what you're
God bless
doing.
you, man. Seriously. God, I love law enforcement and knows the law. It's sadly I encounter some that don't sometimes.
No, you're good. I'm not even going to ask your name.
Yeah, I was real friendly with you. I mean, I wasn't mean or rude or anything.
I got you. But you know, people they don't understand what they don't know or what they don't understand. They're scared. They're scared.
It's pretty common.
But yeah, you're good, man.
Anyway, all right.
Well, is there anything that I can do to help you? Or are you just?
I suppose you got water.
No, but I can make arrangements to get you some.
I'm okay. I'm just gonna head over that Pine Splits. So I can refill my water.
Yeah, you're good. So it's just on the back street right here, right next to like Core Avenue.
Right. Yep.
That's right. If you're going this way, you take a left. It's right there on the corner, man.
All right. Opposite, is it opposite Lee?
Yes, sir.
All right, pleasure, man. You're a big guy. Look at you.
Well, I try.
You work out? You
Sometimes.
got it. Yeah. Say, and how much? I don't. How much could you bench press?
If I wanted to?
Yeah.
Last time I tried real hard, it's about 420.
Woo! Man, that's like two of me. A little more than two of me.
But I was a lot younger too. Yeah. But if there's nothing else I can do for you, sir, I'll let you do
I'm
your
heading out
thing.
here myself in a second.
I'm gonna go back
Thank you, man.
Yeah, after shooting those steroids in your arm.
And reiterate to them that you're not malicious. You're just out here exercising your rights. Okay.
Appreciate you.
All right, no problem. Yes, sir.
Thank you for watching. Leave a comment to keep the conversation going. And smash that like and subscribe button.
I want to thank everybody for coming through and joining me this evening. I appreciate it. I want to thank everybody for joining me this evening. I appreciate it. Thanks to P. Moses, Big Dog Philly OG, Casino C79, Old Dude, the wife, of course, the missus, P. Moses, Old Dude, Key Norfolk, Bronze Flat Power God, Black Wolf, Ali, Jeremy Roster, Keith Lamont, None Your Business, Hurricane JW, Tanya Lloyd. I want to thank my brother Dangerous, my brother Dre Cobbs. Let me see what we got here. Thank everybody for coming through. I appreciate it greatly. I really appreciate it. I hope this was informative to us. And Until next time, this is The Enemy's Public. I am Bro.Nasir. Like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment in the comment section. Until next time, peace.
I don't know how I got here. I just know I'm never going back. Just when I thought things were already crazy, it gets worse.
I'm back.
Quan?
Sapphire struggles to deal with her husband's alleged betrayal and coming to terms with Quan being alive after thinking he was deceased. Devante tries to keep a level head while dealing with family issues and unexpected disloyalty. Memories of Dre enters Devante's life in a way that he would have never imagined.
Fire Part 2, the finale.
If you haven't gotten your copy of Fire 2, the finale, go to Amazon, go to Books, Angela King James, get your copy of Fire Book 2, the finale from Amazon. Yet, if you haven't read the original book, Fire, you won't know what's going on in Fire Book 2, the finale. So you have to get the original copy of Fire in order to know what's going on with Fire Book 2.
Get your copy of Fire. It's definitely a must-read. If you enjoy hood books, this one is it. Just like the title of the book, it's officially Fire. Get it on Amazon, paperback or Kindle.